Hey everyone, and welcome back to C News, the channel where we dive into the truth behind the headlines and bring you the stories that really matter. I'm your host Smiley, and whether you're a returning subscriber or you just stumbled across this video, I'm really glad you're here. This channel is all about pulling back the curtain on what the mainstream media doesn't want to focus on, and today's story is the perfect example of that. We're talking about a major win for Meghan Markle, one that's got her supporters celebrating and her critics, well, absolutely losing it. Today's video is all about Meghan's brand new podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, which just launched with Lemonada Media and has already soared to the top of the podcast charts. Yes, you heard that right, Meghan Markle is sitting comfortably at number 1, and it's driving the trolls absolutely mad. The internet is lighting up with reactions, some full of praise and others filled with the same tired negativity we've come to expect. But here's the thing, Meghan is no longer just a royal figure or tabloid target. She's a media powerhouse building her own platform, and this podcast is solid proof that people are not only listening, but also connecting with her message. In this video, we're going to break down exactly why this podcast has become such a huge success. We'll talk about the concept of the show, the powerful message behind it, and why her very first episode, featuring Bumble founder Whitney Wolfe Herd, is already sparking serious conversations. We'll also dive into the backlash Meghan's facing, because let's be real, every time this woman does something meaningful, certain people just can't handle it. We're going to expose the double standards, unpack the media's reaction, and explore how this moment fits into Meghan's ongoing journey of reclaiming her narrative. So grab a snack, get comfy, and hit that like button if you're tired of the hate and ready to celebrate someone doing something positive in the world. Don't forget to subscribe to C News and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive like this. And of course, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below letting me know your thoughts on Meghan's podcast and what you think it says about the media today. Alright, let's jump in, because this is one story you're definitely going to want the full truth on. Meghan Markle is back in the spotlight, and this time, it's for all the right reasons. Her latest podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, released in partnership with Lemonada Media, has shot straight to the top of the charts. From Apple Podcasts to Spotify, Meghan is proving once again that her voice has an undeniable impact, and that people are eager to hear what she has to say. The podcast's debut comes at a time when Meghan and Prince Harry continue to make headlines for their independent ventures post-royalty. With the British media constantly speculating about their future, this chart-topping win is more than just good PR, it's a bold statement. Meghan is not just surviving outside of the royal bubble, she's thriving. Of course, not everyone is thrilled. As the podcast climbs to number 1, critics and trolls alike are fuming. The backlash is loud, but so is the support. It's yet another example of how Meghan continues to divide public opinion while carving out a strong, independent media presence. Confessions of a Female Founder isn't just another celebrity podcast. It's a thoughtful, in-depth conversation series where Meghan talks to powerful women about the realities of building something from the ground up. The debut episode features Whitney Wolfe Herd, the founder and former CEO of Bumble, who knows firsthand what it means to build an empire under intense public scrutiny. In their discussion, Meghan and Whitney get personal about the brutal treatment women often face in leadership roles. Meghan speaks candidly about the relentless tabloid harassment she's endured, while Whitney opens up about the mental toll of being underestimated and villainized in the media. Their honesty brings a refreshing authenticity to the conversation that resonates with women across the globe. By focusing on female founders and their unfiltered experiences, Meghan is shedding light on the emotional labor, societal double standards, and public pressure that come with success. The podcast aims to empower listeners by showing that even the most accomplished women face deep challenges, and that vulnerability is not weakness, but strength. Within hours of its release, Confessions of a Female Founder was topping charts in multiple countries. Apple Podcasts listed it among their top shows, and it quickly trended across platforms. Meghan's name was suddenly everywhere again, not for drama or controversy, but for producing meaningful content that struck a chord with millions. This isn't the first time Meghan has had a hit podcast. Her previous show Archetypes also performed exceptionally well, topping charts in the UK, the US, and Canada. That podcast focused on dismantling the labels and stereotypes placed on women, and it clearly established Meghan as a powerful voice in the podcasting world. The repeated success of her audio content proves that her critics were wrong to write her off. Despite facing constant opposition, Meghan has built an audience that trusts her to tackle tough topics with grace and insight. Chart performance isn't just a number, it reflects the real impact her stories and guests are making. With every success comes criticism, and Meghan's podcast has been no exception. Detractors immediately took to social media and tabloids to discredit the show, calling it a vanity project or a desperate attempt at relevance. Some claimed the podcast's success was inflated by PR, while others mocked her for returning to the media spotlight. Outlets like Fox News and the Daily Mail have already published scathing pieces questioning the sincerity of the podcast. These critiques often focus less on the content and more on Meghan herself, her tone, her motivations, and her right to speak on these issues. It's a familiar pattern of attacks that Meghan has had to endure since marrying into the royal family. What's telling, however, is that the loudest critics rarely engage with the actual content. They're not talking about the real, heartfelt stories being shared, they're fixated on the woman delivering them. That obsession says more about their bias than it does about Meghan's work. The trolling may be loud, but the numbers don't lie. People are tuning in, listening, and connecting. Meghan isn't new to this kind of scrutiny, and she isn't running from it either. In fact, she addresses it head-on in the podcast's debut. She talks about the toll of public bullying and the deep emotional scars it can leave, not just for her, but for any woman in the public eye. It's a moment of vulnerability that adds depth to the show's mission. Rather than clap back at critics, Meghan lets the work speak for itself. She chooses to amplify the voices of other women who have also weathered storms, CEOs, founders, and change-makers who've had to fight twice as hard for recognition. Through these conversations, she draws strength and shows listeners they're not alone. This approach, calm, confident, and purposeful, is why Meghan continues to win. She's not reacting to the noise. She's building something meaningful. And with every story she tells, every truth she shares, she's shifting the narrative on her own terms. In a media landscape filled with empty noise and superficial stories, Meghan Markle's Confessions of a Female Founder stands out as both timely and impactful. It's not just a podcast, it's a platform. A space where women can be heard, seen, and supported. And the public response proves there's a huge appetite for that. The podcast's chart-topping debut is a huge win for Meghan, and it's one that can't be ignored. While critics may try to minimize her impact, the success speaks volumes. Meghan isn't just surviving the spotlight, she's owning it, and using it to uplift others along the way. As the episodes continue to drop and more stories are shared, one thing is clear: Meghan Markle is here to stay. Her voice matters, her work is resonating, and for all the trolls who are seething, this is just the beginning. Thank you so much for watching, I truly appreciate your time and support. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and subscribe to C News for more content just like this. Your engagement means everything, it helps us grow, keeps the conversation going, and lets us keep bringing you stories that matter. Until next time, stay informed, stay bold, and keep speaking your truth. This is Smiley signing off.